Hey everyone, welcome. Think of this as your personal walkthrough with a senior architect. We're not just going to talk about Azure storage. We are going to design a smart, cost-effective solution together from the ground up. Okay, let's get into it.
So let's be real for a second. Does this sound familiar? It's the question that keeps a lot of us up at night, right? We're generating more data than ever before. You've got logs, media, documents, and if we're not careful, that bill just keeps creeping up and up. This is the core problem we're going to solve today.
And here's our game plan. First, we'll define the challenge. Then, we'll get familiar with our tools, the storage tiers. After that, it's all about application and automation with lifecycle policies. We'll add some crucial safeguards and then wrap it all up with a practical checklist you can literally use today.
Okay, first up, the Smart Storage Challenge. And you know, this isn't about some massive, tedious cleanup project. It's about intelligent design. It's about turning that growing mountain of data from a financial liability into a really well-managed asset.
I mean, think about it. Every single day, we're piling on new documents, user-generated content, endless streams of server logs. Without a strategy, it all gets jumbled together. And what's the result? We end up paying premium prices to store data we might not touch for years. That's not just clutter, that's expensive clutter. A plan is simply non-negotiable.
So, how do we start building that plan? Well, we start with our fundamental building blocks, Azure's 3 core storage tiers. You've got Hot, Cool, and Archive.
Now, this slide is absolutely crucial because it reveals the fundamental trade-off. For the hot tier, yeah, you pay more to store the data, but it costs you less to access it. It's perfect for files you're constantly reading and writing. Now, as we move down to Cool and then Archive, that whole equation flips on its head. Storage becomes incredibly cheap, but pulling that data out costs more. This is the economic engine behind our entire strategy.
And this chart just makes it crystal clear, doesn't it? Look at that bar for the hot tier. High storage cost, tiny little access cost. Now look at Archive. The storage cost is almost nothing in comparison, but the access cost shoots way up. It's so simple. You're just choosing to pay for what you actually need, frequent immediate access or long-term low-cost retention.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get practical. How do we, as architects, actually apply this? How do we map this to the real-world mess of data that we all have? Before we place a single file, we have to get organized. This is where a solid container strategy comes in. We group similar data together. It's common sense, right? You wouldn't throw 7 years of legal archives in the same bucket as active user profile pictures. So we create containers like Logs Production EU, or Customer Docs Active, or Media Thumbnails. Trust me on this, a clear naming convention is your absolute best friend.
So, once our containers are set up, we can start mapping data to its starting tier. Those active customer files that need to be served instantly, yep, they go in Hot. Same for those recent logs you might need for some urgent troubleshooting. What about those project files you only look at once a month? Perfect fit for the Cool tier. And those legal documents you have to keep for 10 years but pray you never have to look at again? Straight to Archive. It just makes sense.
And now, for the magic. We've placed our data correctly for day 1, but what about day 30 or day 365? This is where we bring in the real heavy hitter, the automation engine that is lifecycle policies.
I love this because it is so true. A great architecture should work for you, not the other way around. Our goal here is to set up intelligent rules that just manage our data's journey automatically, saving us time and, more importantly, money without any manual babysitting.
So let's trace the journey of a single log file. On day 1, it's born. We put it in the hot tier for immediate analysis. After 30 days of not being touched, our policy kicks in, boom, moves it to the cool tier. After another 90 days of inactivity, it's off to the super cheap archive tier. And finally, 7 years later, to meet our compliance rules, the system automatically and securely deletes it. Zero human effort required. That's powerful. But listen, a cost-effective strategy is completely useless if your data isn't safe. So let's talk about the essential safeguards. And these aren't optional nice-to-haves. These are foundational to any professional design.
You absolutely need to know the difference between these two. Soft delete is your undo button. It's your oops, I didn't mean to delete that safety net. It gives you a window to recover a file you accidentally nuked. Versioning, though, that's a whole other level. It's like a time machine. It protects against both deletion and accidental overwrites, or even corruption, by saving a snapshot of the file every single time it's changed. For your really critical documents, versioning is a total lifesaver.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground. We've talked theory,
application, automation, and safeguards. Let's distill all of this down into the final takeaway, a 5-point checklist you can put into action right now.
So here they are, 5 rules I enable on pretty much every single project. 1. Move data from hot to cool after 30 days of inactivity. 2. Then move it from cool to archive after another 90. 3. Set a final deletion date based on your compliance needs. Maybe it's 7 years, maybe it's 10. 4. If you are using versioning, automatically clean up old versions to control those costs. And finally, number 5, always enable soft delete for at least 14 days. This is your ultimate safety net.
So there you have it. We've built the entire strategy from the ground up. You have the tools, you have the logic, you have the checklist. The only question left is, what's your first move? Which one of these policies are you going to go and enable in your environment right now?